The winter anime season is upon us. New year, new decade, new anime, and I got the flu. With the continually growing medium, it seems like every season we get bombarded by a larger list of shows ranging in style, topic, and genre. And naturally, not all of them are going to be for you, and they sure ain't all gonna be for me. Since you're here, we probably have a similar taste, or you're a rando looking for recommendations, so I took the liberty of checking out what looked good to me and watching all of it for you. It's important to remember that being a weeaboomer is not an excuse not to educate yourselves on what's poppin' right now. So without further ado, my name's Mike, and let's get into this list. Now, while I can't say that this season is disappointing, there is definitely a lack of really excellent new shows to kick off the decade, in my humble opinion. That being said, this list will not include ongoing series like One Piece, Black Clover, or Haikyuu. It's all new here, so let's see what we got for winter 2020. The first show I wanted to talk about is Somali and the Forest Spirit. The main reason I'm even mentioning it is because of how drawn I was to its art style right away. Pun intended. It's a very Ghibli-esque looking series in a fantasy world full of wild creatures and environments. Episode 1 introduces us to the Golem, a creepy, tall, gray automaton whose existence revolves around protecting his forest. He contrasts the vibrant nature of the world with his foreboding presence, but he's paired with a lost girl named Somali who has a very vibrant personality and is prone to getting herself into danger. Not a great thing for one of the only humans around. It seems that long ago there was a war which either wiped out humanity or drove them back from whence they came, hard to say, but the war itself was caused by typical human elitism and xenophobia. It looks like it'll be a story about two races, each the last of their kind, so despite the massive difference in emotional range between a golem without emotions and a human girl, they share a special bond that could tell a sad story of loneliness, depending on where the plot goes. It's really pretty, but that doesn't mean it's good, and to be honest, I'm a little on the fence about it. As of right now, I'm interested, but I can see myself teetering off if the series doesn't pick up within an episode or so. Consider this a check it out if it looks good for you, but not a full recommendation from me. Watch Somali and the Forest Spirit on Crunchyroll. Next up is In/Spectre, or Inspector. Now this one was pretty rad, but I'm gonna need another episode to see whether or not I love it. Episode 1 starts off a little weird, but the animation is excellent, and after 7 minutes it really picks up. The story revolves around a 17-year-old girl who was abducted by yokai as a child. She agrees to be their goddess of wisdom, and in return, they rip off one of her legs and gouge out one of her eyes. She's in love with this dude who has some relationship issues, but also scares the crap out of all the yokai around simply by existing. At first, it seems like it's going to be a corny love story, but once the action and background story picks up, there's a lot of blood and gore, and the end leaves you with a surprise twist that has me really excited to check out the next episode. It's definitely a low-key first episode, but anything that uses yokai and spooky themes is welcome in my book. Inspector gets a recommendation from me. Check it out on Crunchyroll. Moving on, we got Infinite Dendrogram. It's basically a Sword Art clone, full dive system and all. Main difference is that the AI in this game is supposed to be super realistic, I guess. Like the main character didn't realize he was talking to an NPC when he was. Also, there's this like embryo gimmick. It's just a weapon that lives in your hand and grows and evolves. I don't know, the whole thing's pretty stupid if I'm being honest. The main character's brother is role-playing as a bear, and episode 1 revolves around them trying to help out an NPC because she just seems so real it would suck to let her die. Oh yeah, the NPCs have permadeath. That's a big thing. It's a big thing in this show. Basically, the point is to make this game feel like it has real stakes, but it's a game, so it doesn't. It essentially fails at trying to make the same statement about artificial intelligence that SAO Alicization already has. And if you're interested in that, you can check out our Sword Art Online video. I feel like Infinite Dendrogram came out too late. In a market already saturated by SAO clones, this one is just trying too hard to be good, which inevitably makes it feel like it's trying and just left kind of shallow. Would not recommend this one, but if it seems something interesting to you, it's available on Hulu or Funimation. Now on the flip side, there is another Sword Art clone which I did kind of like, even though it's basically Garbo. Bofuri, I Don't Want to Get Hurt, So I'll Max Out My Defense is another full dive MMO anime starring a little girl and her friend. The main character doesn't want to get hurt, so She puts all her stat points into defense and basically becomes immortal. It's kind of a mix between shield hero and slime without any of the charm or excellence of either, but it's definitely feel good. It also has a decent showcase of a female OP protagonist who isn't aggro or trying to be one of the boys. Instead, she's just kind of a bumbling doof. The world building in Bofuri is decent, and I found myself watching the second episode instead of moving on, so while I won't recommend this to everyone, I will say that it is nice and mindless, a good feel-good show. Again, that is Bofuri. I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense. And you can watch that on Hulu or Funimation if you're just looking for some stupid fun this season. Now, moving into some weirdo territory, I would like to introduce you to Toilet-Bound Hanako-kun. This is by far the most striking and odd anime on my list. It has a very Chunsoft look to it. The art direction goes above and beyond to become a real spectacle. However, halfway through episode 1, I couldn't help but feel it was wasted on this show. Hanako-kun is a ghost that haunts a toilet in the girls' bathroom of a school, and he's said to grant wishes, but in a djinn kind of way. They all come with a big price. When the female protagonist comes in looking to make some boy fall in love with her, Hanako-kun agrees to help. And the first half of the episode was way too cutesy. I almost turned it off. However, it turns really dark and sinister in the end, and it leaves you wondering what's coming next. I would recommend giving episode 1 a watch just for how amazing the show looks, but I'm not sure if it's going to keep my interest. I'll have my eye on Toilet-Bound Hanako-kun for sure. I'm gonna watch episode 2, and I am watching that one on Hulu. Now, this next one is way up on my watch list and is by far the most fun anime I had the pleasure of watching for this video. Interspecies Reviewers. So, quick background, usually when I go somewhere like a con or vacation, I always look for a local manga or anime store to pick up something neat. And it turns out that rural Maine doesn't have a lot of Japanese retail, but I did find this book called Monster Girl Encyclopedia, which turned out to basically be erotica. The art in Interspecies Reviewers is almost identical to that of this book, and obviously they were worked on by a similar staff or, you know, had some kind of consulting between the two people. So when I saw this show pop up, I was already in, and I wasn't disappointed. Interspecies Reviewers is one of the most crass and audacious anime I have ever seen. It's up there with Why the Hell Are You Here, Teacher, and kind of makes that series look tame. The anime stars a human and elf pair of heathens who are out to review their sexcapades with as many species as possible in their fantasy world. Along the way, they team up with a virgin angel who broke their halo and need to wait for it to heal before they can get back into heaven. And I say they because, like, the angel has both, the angel has both parts. And naturally, the angel is roped into the reviewing process as well, and if you can throw away all notions of being politically correct, you're going to have a great time with this show. It's funny, it's dirty, and extremely offensive. I highly recommend Interspecies Reviewers on Funimation. Also, Tyler wants me to let you know that this show may not be for everyone, but it is certainly this is certainly for me. Moving on, Plunderer is a good contender this season. I super enjoyed the first episode and I'm excited to see where it goes. So this girl shows up in a town after walking 40,000 kilometers in 5 years, searching for this guy called the Ace. Her mom died and left her with that mission and also an orb with a number in it. Exactly what this orb is hasn't been revealed yet, but everyone in this world has a number on them. The heroine's number is on her thigh, allowing for some ecchi action here and there. And this number is increased or decreased by individual characters' personal factors. It sounds complicated, but it's not. For instance, this one chick has hers go up if people love her food and down if they think it's disgusting. No matter what though, if your number reaches 0, you're dragged into the netherworld or whatever, you die. Episode 1 shows off some really good humor and an interesting plot with some pretty excellent action and gore. The animation is kind of B tier, but it certainly has its moments where it really shines through. I will be continuing to watch Plunderer, and I recommend that you give it a shot as well. You can find it on Hulu and Funimation. Now, these next shows are above and beyond the best 2020 anime I've checked out thus far. First is Darwin's Game. This one is wild. The show revolves around generic protagonist, this guy, who finds himself stuck in a game of life or death via a mysterious phone app sent to him from a missing friend. The friend is dead, by the way, he died. Explaining the ins and outs of the game would be difficult in a short time span, so just know that this one is violent as hell and pretty spooky too. The animation is great and the action and suspense will actually keep you on the edge of your seat. I'm personally interested in finding out all about the game and its point. Why do these people have to kill each other? How do their special abilities work? There's a female character who comes in a little later, is totally out of her mind, but the first bad guy, the newbie hunter, is a dude in a panda mascot suit who can become invisible at will and carries a carving knife. It's not often anime is capable of making things spooky, but I don't know what it was about this panda, it just freaked me out. It may have been the interesting sound design choices they made, or the fact that the show opens up with a real good throat slit that just like sprays everywhere, it's crazy. But Darwin's Game gets a big old recommendation from me. If you liked Future Diary, this is right up your alley. Check it out on Funimation if you can get the app to work. Seriously. What is the deal with your platform, Funimation? I want to quickly add in a weird pick right here. It is Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken. This is not an anime that you would typically find on my list simply because its premise isn't something that would pique my interest. However, after watching the first 2 episodes with our patrons, I feel like it needs to be mentioned. First of all, the art direction is amazing. There is a lot of heart pouring out of every scene here, and the care and time put into this anime about making anime shows. The world that these characters live in is beautiful, and their school in particular has this hauntingly dreamlike wackiness to its design. So far, the plot is 3 young girls get together to make some anime, but in doing so, the show goes along with their imagination and creativity to create visual wonders akin to a Ghibli film. This is a good one. A lot of people are already pegging it as best of the season. I'd say give it 2 episodes as it starts off a little slow. Also, shout out to our patron Tropical for coining the term magical realism to describe Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken. Give it a watch, check it out on Crunchyroll. Now last but not least is my favorite of the season, Id Invaded. I was immediately struck by the art style and direction in this anime. It speaks for itself and lets the viewer know that this is a project with some passion behind it. Another anime with a chunsoft looking aesthetic, the characters are reminiscent of Danganronpa characters. You can see it in their eyes for sure. But what's the deal with Id Invasion? Well, like Darwin's Game, it's a really complicated series to explain, but essentially there is a top secret group using new technology to enter the unconscious of serial killers in order to track down and detain them. Each unconscious is unique and comes with their own mystery that needs to be solved by the person diving into them, who assumes the role of the brilliant detective out to solve the murder of Kairu, a stand-in victim representative of the murderer's intent. It's even complicated keeping it brief. These unconsciouses, or wells, are found by field agents with some tech thing that picks up cognition particles made out of the serial killer's intent to kill, which sounds absolutely ridiculous, but it's honestly fascinating. It's well-paced and an excellent ride so far. Id Invaded is a little ahead of other series now, so there's 3 episodes out at the time of making this, and I watched all of them in a row before watching anything else. The first killer is a man who drills holes into people's heads, and the great detective goes into the unconscious of one of the victims, and it's just Kairu hanging in a singular tree as giant drill bits pierce the heavens. It's totally badass, visually striking. Id Invaded is by far my top pick for winter 2020, so I would check that out on Hulu or Funimation. And I bet you thought I was gonna show my face. Well, I'm sick for MagFest and I just didn't have it in me. So yeah, I'm gonna spare you this week. I wanna mention a show that isn't out yet, but is totally on my radar, Dorohedoro. This one looks sick and is coming to Netflix, so definitely keep your eyes out for that. And before I go, I want to shout out our lucky patron of the week, Kenshin124. Thank you so much for helping to make this channel possible, my dude. I really appreciate it. Couldn't do it without you. And a special shout out to our top patron, Calamity Cookie, for being an absolute boss. We love you, man. Thank you so much for your continued support. Really, like, wow. Well, with that out of the way, we will be back in full swing next week with our first One Piece video. If that sounds rad to you, subscribe, hit the bell, and we'll see you then. In the meantime, check out our other awesome videos and follow us on social media for lots of great Weeaboomer Boomer content. That's Bonsai_Pop on Twitter and Instagram. My name is Mike. This is Bonsai Pop. I'm gonna go take a nap, and I'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.